Episode 4 of What's Wrong with Secretary Kim picks up where we left off, with Secretary Kim still angry with Brandon. However, Brandon thinks it is only a matter of time before she apologizes. He remembers she has always done this in the past. This has been how they have lived for the past 9 years, but not this time. Secretary Kim remains unrelenting, and this worries Brandon. Later that evening, Secretary Kim and the other workers clock out early to have a party. They head to a bar and start having fun until Brandon suddenly appears. Secretary Kim thinks he is there to apologize, but he only wants to remind her about a document he needs in the morning. Things quickly get awkward as Brandon's presence cuts their fun short. For one, Walter worries he might not get a promotion if Brandon sees him wearing makeup and getting drunk. Nonetheless, the workers try to enjoy their food, and Sarah suggests they play the compliment game. This is a game that allows them to praise each other. However, Brandon worries they will all praise him and asks them to give a chance to others. Everyone compliments the person next to them, but Brandon compliments himself for being a good leader. Secretary Kim is disappointed as Brandon was supposed to compliment her. The night wears on, and Steph gets drunk. Secretary Kim asks Jordy to take her home and make sure everyone leaves the venue safely. After this, Brandon compliments her. He says she is the heart of the team and expects her to melt upon hearing his words. Secretary Kim only says thanks, but the compliments won't make her stay. She heads home and checks her messages to ensure everyone gets home safely. She thinks about texting Brandon to apologize, but decides against it. The next day, Brandon shares this concern with Philip, who advises him to apologize. As expected, Brandon doesn't think he did anything wrong and, therefore, believes he has nothing to apologize for. Philip tries to explain that Brandon hurt Secretary Kim and should quickly apologize before things escalate. After talking to Philip, Brandon decides he will apologize in his way. The Brandon way. After hitting the gym with Philip, Brandon returns to the office and overhears Secretary Kim talking to her sister, Kat. Kat is excited because she has set up a date for Kim. Brandon loses his cool and orders Secretary Kim to turn down the date. Kat is not on Team Brandon and tries harder to convince Secretary Kim to go out with Tony, an old childhood friend of theirs. The episode ends with Brandon explaining that Secretary Kim can't date, and she asks him why not. Of course, delusional, Brandon responds, because I said so. The episode review. Brandon needs to calm down and let Secretary Kim have a life outside work. It is funny because he got it so bad and doesn't even know it. For a man who claims to be perfect, he sure does misread the room a lot. On the other hand, we have another romance slowly brewing between Jordy and Steph. They like each other, but neither has said anything yet. Hopefully, we will see more of their story as the show progresses.